Okay, we are recording.
All right. I would like to call our meeting to order. May we have the Pledge of Allegiance? Do we have a flag, please?
Absolutely.
Voila.
Great.
I pledge allegiance to the flag, the United
United
States of America,
and
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call.
Kyra Wink,
Present.
Mike Nichols,
Present.
Nick Perrier. Great.
All right, approval of agenda. I want to make a comment here. The agenda was initially sent out with 6 permits of interest to give updates on. And there was actually a 7th, which was the Monterrio gas station. And so that's why you saw the distribution of 2 agendas. And since the first one went out in Brown Act guidelines within the 24 hours, I will need to ask approval to additionally add the Monterrio gas station or amend the agenda to include that.
I so move.
Second,
Roll
Okay,
call.
roll call vote. Mike Nichols,
Yes.
Nick Perrier,
yes.
Kyra Wink.
Yes. Okay, any statements of conflict of interest?
If there's a discussion on the Wildwood application, I will have to recuse myself from any conversation associated with that agenda item.
All right, thank you, Michael. So noted. Still correspondence.
I do not have any correspondence to report.
Yeah, I have not received anything as well since the last emergency meeting. Anyone else? Okay, consent calendar. Guess we can move on. So we have a list of permits that we are following. There are 7 of them that are currently still in process of some sort or another. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which came before us, events and such that have been resolved, but I keep them on our list so that we know what we have looked at prior. For tonight's meeting, I'm just going to go over, I can mention at the end the ones that we've that have either occurred or are complete or done. But for today's agenda, we'll look at the ones that we have listed on the agenda, starting with the park in downtown Forestville, which is PLP 16-0054. And I'm going to read a brief summary of that for anybody who doesn't know about it. It's a request for a zone change from planned community zoning district to public facility zoning district. The general plan amendment from the limited commercial land use designation to the public and quasi-public land use designation, and use permit and design review for a new public park containing a picnic area amphitheater with a covered structure with sound barrier backdrop, small plaza gathering area for public events, pathway and sidewalks, 24 bicycle parking spaces at West County Trailhead, public restrooms, storage structure, drinking fountains and seating, 17 vehicle space parking lot, including 1 ADA accessible space, drainage improvements, bus stop with a shelter adjacent to Park and State Highway 116, trash cans and trash storage areas, informational kiosk, donor plaque displays, plus oak and wetlands preservation area located on a 4.26 acre parcel in downtown Forestville. So I reached out to Georgia.McDaniel and I looked online at all the permit updates that I could find. And they're preparing the CEQA document. She said the plan is to circulate it for public, it is still in process. She's still awaiting information to update this document. The plan is to circulate it for public review and comment, and she will notify us when it's ready to do so. Any comments or questions? Yes, Michael.
Thank you very much, Kyra. My only comment would be that it would be ideal if a car charger was included in that application. It would just make complete sense because I don't believe that there are any public car charging facilities in Forestville, and this would be an ideal spot. So that would be my only comment.
That's a great idea, actually.
Thank you.
Excellent idea.
We'll make note of that. Car charger.
Or two.
Right. All right. Any other comments, questions? Is there anybody from the public who has comments or questions?
Don't see any hands raised at the moment.
Okay. Not seeing any, I'm going to move on to the MD gas station at 15190 River Road in Guerneville. It's PLP 19-0018. It's a use permit design and review proposal to allow reuse of an existing gas station property for mixed use development, including a new 3-story building with parking on the ground floor and 5 single-room occupancy units with 2 two-bedroom apartments above, a 2,000 square foot of retail market, and a new canopy structure with replacement of existing pump dispensers on a 0.32 acre commercial property fronting River Road near Guerneville. Zoning of this site is, and it goes on to LC F2 LG 116 LG RRC. I don't know what all that means, but anyway, the update that we got, that I did not receive an update. So that's the only one that I have not received an update on. The planner is Derik Michaelson. He said at his last update in May that a letter was sent by Permit Sonoma to applicant reviewing the project issues and needed or required submittals. They would review and respond with required information by May 2022 as to how to proceed. I did not see anything listed when I looked up the permit or any other documents that had been posted. So I am not sure on the status of this permit. And Derik did not get back with me. Any questions or comments? Michael.
I suggest you direct another note to Derik with a copy to Tennis Wick requesting an update.
Okay,
Yeah, I was gonna make the same.
I will do so. Any questions or comments from the public?
I see one hand raised, so I will allow them to talk. This is Adrian Lobby.
Hi, Adrian.
Hi, I'm here because I was told secondhand that there was someone who wanted to open a hotel on a piece of property where there are already low-income people living. And I do apologize. I thought you started at 6, so I have no idea where you are on your agenda or if this is appropriate to talk to you about. But I'm very concerned, and one of the things I heard was that he had asked the people who were there to move away for 10 days so he could have a fancy wedding and use all their housing for the wedding guests.
Yeah, Adrian, I'm going to stop you. We're only on the second item and we will be getting to that property, I believe.
Oh, good. Can you give me a hint of when it is?
Probably in the next 15, 20 minutes. It's called the River's Edge Lodge, I believe is the one you're referring to.
Great, thank you very much.
You bet. Thank you. Any other comments to the MD gas station for Guerneville? If not, we will go on. So the next is the Lock Hotel project. This is next to Dubrava. It's PLP 18-0012. The project planner is Georgia.McDaniel. The use permit and design review to allow a new 120 room resort, 2745 square feet of impermeable surfaces within the riparian corridor and improve public access to the former Guernwood Park Resort location. The project includes 2 main hotel buildings, 4 stories in height, with 410 square foot rooms, and 37,314 square total lobby, 2 meeting rooms. The hotel service area is 5,652 square foot. A small restaurant and bar, which is a little over 3,000 square foot, a spa and gym. The main hotel buildings would be constructed over 320 feet from the center line of the River Road, which is Highway 116. Detached from the main hotel buildings would be 20 additional suites, 4 stories in height, located in 5 treehouse buildings, to be located near the northeast edge of the site, upslope from Hubert Creek. Accessory buildings include a public bathroom, a pool house, and a gatehouse. The public access trail, current location, conceptual, a 25 space public parking lot and public restroom facility will be developed on the east side of the development site, where it will be accessible from 116 and located away from the neighboring residential development. The project is expected to employ up to 37 people during the peak season. So if you'll remember, we did have an initial hearing before BZA occurred on February 24th. The recommendations came out from that hearing asking for the developers to reduce the hotel capacity and decrease it from 4 stories to 3 stories in height. There was also a need to address some water storage capability per Sweetwater Springs. The applicant is responding to the BZA comments and coming back with a revised project. The continuance of the BZA hearing is expected in the fall. So it's still on track. Georgia said that they would be bringing this back to a hearing in the fall. A date has not been set as yet. Any comments or questions?
Comments.
Thank you.
None for me.
Any public questions or comments?
Don't see any hands raised at the moment.
Okay, if not, we're going to go on to the next update. This is on the Rio Nido Outdoor Market. The planner is Jeanne Chard. It is PLP 21-0003.
Or did we
Used-
skip the Monterey gas station? I think that was the next one, was it not?
No, we already went over the MD gas station.
Monterey
Oh,
gas station.
I have that
Actually,
as the last one.
yeah,
last
on the
item on
agenda, it actually is on the last.
I'm looking at the Excel spreadsheet rather than the. Sorry, I apologize.
Sorry about that. I redid the Excel spreadsheet to match the agenda. So I wouldn't get confused. So anyway, the use permit to operate a 7,300 square foot outdoor market adjacent to an existing 460 square foot general store and 37 space surface parking lot on a 1.29 acre parcel zoned LC. The proposed outdoor market will include tent and tables for vendors and will operate 2 times a week between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. Our previous updates, according to Permit Sonoma, that the application is incomplete They need to update their site plan, provide a more detailed description of an outdoor market, provide a fire evaluation, and additional deposit is required. In addition, an environmental review is required with the possibility of an EIR, environmental impact report. Response was requested by May 9th, but Jen thinks that the extension was requested. When I spoke with Jen, she said she's still waiting for the applicant to provide the necessary information requested, but apparently they are working on it. Any questions from the committee?
Not specifically to this project, but I'm hearing about an Excel sheet that Mike has that I don't, that must have been part of the communication about changing the meeting time.
There was an Excel spreadsheet that I sent to Elise, and for distribution, I thought I sent it to all of you.
Nope, didn't get it.
Right, let me make a note about this. Nick, copy to Excel. It's basically what I'm reading from. All right, my goodness, Nick. All right. Yes, Mike.
Thank you. I'd think that we should set this aside until the applicant comes back with some sort of the necessary information that had been requested, and no further discussion on the item until such time as they come back with the information.
Mm-hmm. Are there any questions from the attendees, from the public on this? I think if there's no action on some of these, we'll kind of park them to the side and then only bring them up if we do have some action, some further updates or action.
Don't see any comments.
All right, so let's go on to the next one, which is the River's Edge Lodge. Adrienne, this is the one that you'll be wanting to listen to. So it is UP 20-0068. The planner is Jennifer.faso. We did go through a presentation a month ago on this, or the beginning of this month. I can't remember the exact date. We did have a presentation from them. The request is for a use permit to convert an existing residence and 3 cottages into a 6-room lodging operation on a 3.47 acre parcel in the Recreation and Visitors Serving Commercial District K zoning district. This facility will operate 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and will have 2 full-time employees. No expansion of existing buildings or food services proposed, and no events. Jennifer reached out to me with her update saying that she was forwarded the comments from the Emergency Land Use Committee and they have been added to the record. She stated that she also watched the video of the meeting, and as a result of the hearing waiver, a request has been submitted for a public hearing. Therefore, this project will be heard by the Board of Zoning Adjustments. She does not have a hearing date as yet, but as soon as she has one, she will update the committee. The next step is for her to prepare a staff report and coordinate with management on a hearing date. Any comments or questions from the committee?
A comment other than the fact that it's out of our hands. It looks like it's moving directly to BCA for approval.
Mhm.
Or disapproval.
Or just, yeah. Nick?
Yeah, I just, in the interest of time and explaining to the people in the meeting. So basically, our swing at this particular ball has passed. That was the last meeting we have, and there will be time for public comment at an upcoming planning commission meeting, which I encourage all of you to attend, but we don't have the date for that at this point.
Correct. So as Nick mentioned, we had an emergency meeting when we heard about this one, as well as the next one we'll be looking at, which was Wildwood. And we, about a month ago, had an emergency meeting to discuss these 2 permits, because they were heading for a committee that was going to be happening before we met again this month. Those meetings were canceled and never occurred, but nonetheless, we wanted to give an opportunity for public comment, and we did receive some public comment. Adrian, you're able to ask any questions that you want of us, but as Nick mentioned, the best venue right now for more public comment, whether for or against this project, would be at the BZA hearing when public comment is called for. And I encourage anyone with any comments either way to, as Nick did, to attend this hearing. And we will do our best to get that out to everybody, that date and Zoom information. Any other comments from the committee? Any questions or comments from the attendees?
We have Adrian Laube. I'll allow her to talk.
Adrian, go ahead.
Thank you. I'll be very brief because I do hear that it's really not in your venue anymore, but you're very knowledgeable. You've been sitting in these committee hearings, and I'm sure that there are people on other boards and other places where this application is going who would like to hear from you. So I'd just like to say that the reason I'm involved is I'm a homeless advocate. I see so many people losing their homes and because of economics. And so I become pretty protective of any kind of low income housing that there is around. And this sounds like another of many situations where someone's going to kick some people out of their housing in order to have, you know, more luxury vacation type housing, which I think is just not good for the Guerneville area, not good for Sonoma County, certainly not good for the people who are involved. So that's all. I'm just I appreciate you letting me have a minute to make my little voice heard, and I will follow up on it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Adrian. Any other questions or comments? All right, we'll go on to our last item for update. This is Wildwood. Ross Markey is the planner. PLP 20-009. Yes, Michael. You're on mute.
Have to be removed from the panel, I believe, at this point, if there's any discussion, so.
And Michael, don't go away because this is the second to the last. We still have the Montreux gas station.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. Yes, Nick, thank you.
I
Yeah,
will.
Put me back
caboose
on
of this agenda.
when the conversation is over on Wildwood. Thank you.
I'll remove you real quick. Yeah.
And he is removed. Huzzah. All right, so the reason why Michael stepped off is he does expressed a conflict of interest in any kind of discussion that we have. So the request is one, a zone change from resource and rural development, RRD, to timberland production. And then two, cancellation of existing land conservation contract through the Williamson Act to be replaced by the Timber Production Zone Assessment District. And three, a phased use permit to legalize an existing retreat center operating year-round with a maximum of 10 employees. The resort will operate Friday through Sunday with a maximum of 52 people on site, including employees, following the completion of phase one, and a maximum of 60 people on site, including employees, following the completion of phase two. And open one weekend a month, Thursday through Sunday, with a maximum of 35 people on site, including employees, during both phases. Phase one is expected to be completed within 2 years from approval, and phase two will be completed within 4 years of approval. It's located on a plus or minus 210 acre parcel lot at 2111 Old Cazadero Road at the very top. APN 106-230-007 and 8. So we did, this was the second of two that we reviewed a month ago for the emergency meeting that we had, as it was supposed to be going towards a hearing prior to us meeting on a regular scheduled time. And so there was a presentation and lots of discussion, lively discussion on this one as well. I spoke with the planner. Let me turn my page here. And the Planning Commission hearing for July 7th was canceled for this project. We received notice from CAL FIRE that they would like to comment on the rezoning component of the project and are still awaiting these comments. The project will be rescheduled for a hearing date with the Planning Commission at a later date, and notice will go out about that. So any questions or comments from Nick?
So just, this is kind of in the same position as we are with the Rivers End Lodge, in that we've had our swing at this pitch, and the next time for public comment to be registered would be at the upcoming, yet to be scheduled Planning Commission meeting.
Correct. I just did want to give that update so that we know that it was going to the Planning Commission. And as soon as we know those dates, we'll certainly get it out to people.
And just to, I'm trying to create a timeline for everybody who's clued in here. So there was going to be another Planning Commission meeting. That one was canceled. And so the second Planning Commission is the one that we were trying to get out in front of. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, we were trying to get in front of that 7/7 because I think we met, was it the 1st of July? I think it was. I'd have to look back. But we were trying to get ahead of that 7/7 meeting, and then it got canceled. All right, any questions or comments from the public?
I don't see any at this time.
All right, why don't you bring Mike Nichols back on?
There he is.
Hello, sir. All right, the last permit that's still active that we'll review here is PLP 21-003. Oh, I got the same one listed as the Rio Nido gas station and the Rio Nido outdoor market. Something's wrong there. Go back a page. That's unusual. I'm like, I said 003 before. Oh, that's because the Rio Nido outdoor market was UPE 22-003. And this one is PLP 21-003. Oh my goodness. All right. Okay, so the PLP 21 does belong to Monterey gas station. The planner is Doug Bush. It's a request for a use permit and administrative design review to add a 24-hour fuel station with 3 dispensers to an existing mini mart operation along a scenic corridor on a 0.32 acre parcel. The fuel station would include a 16-foot tall canopy and underground storage tanks. So as you go out of Monterey, it's to the left as you're going towards Guerneville. It's the little market that's there. They want to add a gas station. The applicant, as of the end of last year, the application was incomplete, didn't meet the zoning standard, is inconsistent with the general plan. They requested from the applicant that, or the applicant requested additional time to revise per the county recommendations. And this last one says a letter was sent July 5th to the applicant stating that they have 30 days to submit an updated application or that the application would be formally withdrawn. If we do not receive a sufficient response, the department will withdraw the application at the end of the next week. So as you mentioned, Michael, this might be one that we kind of park and see if it does come back with any action. But the county has not moved forward with anything because they have not heard back from the applicant. Nick.
Actually, I think what would happen is if they do not respond to the county, then if it comes back to us, it'll come back to us as a different project and project number.
Yeah. Most likely. Any other comments from our committee? Then I'll open up to any questions or comments from the attendees, the public.
Don't see any comments at this time.
All right, so those are the 7 projects that we are kind of keeping track with. We had, and I'll just quickly read over these, just for the public's information. We had some Armstrong wood fencing that had been approved and is completed. We had 3 different bicycle races, the Kings Ridge Bike Event in March, the Gran Fondo in April, and then a chef cycle in May that all occurred and are over and were approved. We had rezoning sites for housing, which came up through the broader housing element, and they're going to bring that back when they're ready to reintroduce that with county support. We had a request for a Forestville Youth Park Barbecue and Parade, which is an annual event that came back active since 2020 and 21 when COVID had shut it down, that already occurred. We had a food truck that washout station that was approved in Guerneville. And then there's a timberland conversion, and that got removed. It was taking timberland and converting it for, it was marijuana growth. But anyway, there was problems with the applicant and zoning, and it has been canceled at this time. Any questions or comments from our committee? So that is our quick update. You know, we had talked about possibly canceling our meeting this month because we really didn't have any substantial updates, but it was important to me as your chair to give you any updates that we have and keep this as regular as we can. Nick made a good point about making sure that we keep with the date and the time. I think we'll stay with the fourth Thursday at 6 to 7 p.m. 5:30 cuts it a little close for those that are working and can't get home in time. And I think it's important to keep the public informed of any use permits that are coming up so that you have the opportunity to comment and be part of the information to and from your county. Any concerns or questions from the participants who have joined us? I don't see any. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us. Some of you, it may have been really short notice. I couldn't find the link until this afternoon myself, so I shot out an email to as many people that I could contact. Appreciate you for attending and hope you have a wonderful evening. Take care. Motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Second,
Roll call.
Kyra Wink,
Aye.
Mike Nichols,
Yes.
Nick Pereira.
yes.
All right. Everyone have a great evening. We'll talk to you in a couple months. Bye-bye.